I think we are now live on YouTube as well as Facebook.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. That was some crazy difficulty. StreamYard added some new things and it threw me for a lot of loops. So if you can see us on YouTube and Facebook, please let us know. Now that I think I have fixed this. I think it is the correct video now. I believe. Can you guys see us? It is the correct one, Karen says. Okay.
Because I'm on YouTube and I don't see it.
I'm looking forward to it and I don't see it.
It's not on there. I have
Some people are still in the old video.
Yeah, it's there.
It's
Got the regular thumbnail, not the one she created.
Oh, I see. So what I'll do is I'll go in the chat and tell everyone to go into.
But I see all of the super chats and stuff still.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Found it. No. You don't do anything.
No, but these people are still waiting. They're 68.
Okay.
All right. So now I got the other chat.
I'm so confused. Are there 2 lives?
Yeah, but one's not playing. Yeah, I'm just letting them know.
I'm not refreshing. It's going.
Oh, you need to refresh.
Yeah, when you refresh it, the old thumbnail's gone, and just the new. Well, the other one's still there too.
It just says 64 waiting.
I'm getting rid of the old one.
No, you're the only
I hope. I just hit delete.
I'm refreshing right now. Hello, Lori. Welcome.
Thank you guys for your patience through our craziness here. Hold on.
You now have 2 live on YouTube, by the way, and 1 still up.
Yeah, one of them is vertical and one of them is horizontal. So that is on purpose.
Okay.
That's the new thing that I'm trying that is causing chaos.
Okay, I see it.
Muted.
I just want to make sure everybody else can find it and that we still, it looks like we still have the questions.
All right, so I need to close
Right.
this chat.
I'm
In the
afraid of
StreamYard, it should still be in StreamYard, yes. There were some questions that you can see in StreamYard.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still there,
Um,
including the super chats.
What? Yeah, I don't know what the heck this thing did. I'm going to upload a thumbnail though, so it's the actual right thumbnail.
Okay.
And save it. Save. Okay, we will figure this out. Sorry guys for the technical difficulties. Hopefully what I'm doing now will fix us. I hope.
So you have to create 2 different ones for vertical and horizontal?
No, it creates them at the same time, but it kept telling me it was invalid. And I know it's a new feature, so let's see. All right. I see all the super chats and everything. So hopefully, I think everybody has found us. I think.
They're coming over.
The new live video I posted on my channel, the new one won't work. Should I share it again? Just in case?
They're both live. We have 80 in the chat right now on this one.
View your channel. There we are. Yeah, I see the 2 live, and what that is one is vertical and one is horizontal.
We need a mod.
So I guess people are watching on both of them.
Person needs to be blocked.
Yeah, we need a mod.
Marsha's here somewhere.
Do you have mods, Kat?
That Z3R0X has to go.
Has to go.
Marsha, you got it? Good Lord. If not, I can click in and is that on the vertical or the, do we even know? It might be more than.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay.
The vertical one has the regular thumbnail, and the one for the right one, the horizontal one, is the actual thumbnail itself.
So we need two moderators to do this.
Helping you learn.
let's see.
They've already been
Okay,
deleted.
yeah, I see that one. So let me go in there. Let me pause it. And it oh, John got him. More income got him. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
And
You Rob John.
I will, and you got him hidden. Okay, so I've got both those chats open just so we can figure out who is where. Okay. Sorry, guys. Happy Tuesday. I've been having a rough day already. That just added to it. But I think we are straightened out now. I'm trying it because YouTube has a feature where I can do it vertical. So if you're watching on your phone, it should be a little better viewing experience. But whether that will work or not, I don't know. But we do have super chats I want to get to first. Mike Metco sent $10 and said Las Vegas is represented quite well tonight and said, hi, everyone. It should be a good show. And of course, since he said that, I have to play the Sunny super chat. So here you go.
Really? Really, Sonny?
He just did what he was requested. Gino asked him to do it, and Gino put the super chat together for us. So he
Reminds me
was
of that old
following
butter
directions.
commercial. Remember that old butter commercial with Fabio?
Yes, that's what I thought of when I was laughing.
Dad bod Fabio over here.
Dad Bob, Fabio. All right. Miss Elena sent a $1.99 super chat and wants to know our thoughts on using an ionizing machine or a purifier. Is that the same as ozone?
For what, though?
I'm going to Google that. Hold on.
First
Not
thing
Is
I know.
ionizer same as ozone? No, it is not the same. So it says any ionizers can produce ozone, but the ionizer emits negatively charged ions that attach to airborne particles like dust and pollen, and it's breaking down odor causing gases is what it is doing. But it looks like the ozone does more, but it has more of a chemical offset. So if any of us have we used ionizing machine or an air purifier?
She says in the chat right here that it's keeps the merchandise from smelling musty.
Like if you have it in a storage unit or something, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just got rid of my storage unit issue, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. But no, generally, I mean, we keep our stuff in the garage, and it's. I like to think that we're not holding on to things for months and months on end. We're churning through a lot of our items, so we don't really. I've never thought of it, to be honest with you. I've never really had to deal with anything like
We
that.
don't really have we don't sell things that have a smell.
Like clothing, we don't
Yeah.
do. We do some very, very few clothing items right now.
Yeah, like next to zero.
Yeah, currently.
I've never had any problem.
Smells, I think, wouldn't come from things I've sourced, but smells do come to mind with comforters and sheets that we had forever that I've been trying to get my wife to throw out. But that's a whole nother topic, and I would need to go to therapy for.
Probably need to talk to Carla about that.
Yeah. I need a wine and diner first before I complain.
Yeah, so I have just bought air purifiers for my whole house because we're in a 1942 farmhouse, and Brooke got one for her room, and I walked in there one day and I was like, oh my gosh, it smells so much fresher than the rest of the house. So I realized the difference. And so I got them for the rest of the house, which is nice. Definitely a noticeable difference. The one we have tells us the air quality. So when we start the fireplace here lately, because we've had 20s and 30s the last couple of days, it like if there's like wet wood and it's drying it out, it makes it the air quality horrible, but they clean it out pretty fast, which is nice. So we see the, air purity going down. I don't know that it would be a bad idea if you've just got one building. Like mine does 1,200 square feet, the one I got for my living room. I have used the ozone, but only in a new space when I started using my prior rental house because there were some odors. I ran ozones in there for like 3 days to try and clear everything out. Ozone puts off dangerous gas though, so you have to block off that room and stay out of it. I haven't really looked into the ionizing. I do a lot of clothes, and that musty smell does happen. The problem is, I guess with the ionizing, it would make it to no odor. Be careful using something that has odor. Like my air purifiers, I can put in like essential oils. I wouldn't do that if they have that option, but I don't think it would hurt. I think here in Florida, it's really important to get a dehumidifier, which should hopefully get rid of like the mold and musty thing. So we do run dehumidifiers, and most window unit air conditioners have built-in dehumidifiers. And the rooms I've noticed that have the most like moisture, I've started putting damp rid in there, like the bags that collect water, little tubs, and it pulls a lot of the water out of the air. So that's another alternative to running a machine. All right, Elena likes the kitty cat. I will give her that. And then we have another. Meow, 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 meow. Listen, so I went to get my nails done today. Elena takes a morning walk, every walk. I know where she walks. It's an hour away from me. I saw her walking down the road and she looked so cold. I think it was like 38 or 40. And she was like this walking. And I honked the horn at her. And then I messaged, I'm like, that was me. Are you cold? You look cold. And she's like, yes, I'm very cold. I was like, okay. I'm glad it's not me out there. It's you. It was very chilly. We were below 30 here where I'm at this morning.
Oh,
Which I know to some of you northerners, that's not a lot, but to me, that was a lot. Tutu's Attic, Las Vegas says, is Whatnot a good place to source vintage jewelry? Or is an estate sale online or in person the best place? What are your thoughts?
For me, I tend to go to estate sales, garage sales, that kind of thing. But I really don't buy a lot. I think it's better when you do it because you can find most places in bulk. You get a better price on them. That's my opinion.
Well, we don't sell a lot of vintage jewelry, but I would say if I had a choice between the two, I'd definitely choose an estate sale. And yard sales, like you said. I think sometimes people just don't know what they have. And if you have an eye for that, you can get a good deal. Now, also, you can maybe hit up Whatnot, and if that seller really doesn't know a lot about what they have. I'll give you an example. A friend of ours had a bunch of old vintage military pins that said sterling on the back. And he didn't know that they were sterling silver. And he sold them to one of the viewers for really cheap. I mean, he sold like a bunch of them really cheap. So if the seller doesn't really have an idea and you're an expert and you know what to look for, you could probably get good deals on Whatnot that way.
I would say with Whatnot, probably just look. If you don't got time to go out driving or being physically active, going somewhere, online would be your best place, not just Whatnot. But I have been finding quite a bit of items really good. And many times people don't maximize on using the messenger section of all the apps and platforms. If you see that people aren't selling very much and they're not caring about the prices and you're getting good deals, I would personally do what I've done is reach out to them and say, hey, what all do you have? Maybe we could work out a deal on this platform. So that way it doesn't look like you are trying to go off platform and get hit about it. And I've had quite a bit of bulk buys off of that. Not huge sales, like purchases for me, but it's giving me some pretty good connections where now they just message me and I buy more and more stuff.
Yeah, you guys that are in the new vertical, that is brand new. It just became available today, and we can see which of you are watching in vertical, which is kind of cool. Let me know if you like the vertical or do you not like the vertical. And if you don't like it, you can switch back over to landscape. But I thought it said it would be better viewing for those of you on phones. Let me know if it is better and if it is not. Shamoa Hana, let me see if I see your super chat. Hold on, and I will check. And then I need to give them theirs. I do not see your super chat. I don't know what this thing is. We might.
When it glitched.
It was just weird. Marcia says it messed up the modding. I wonder, I don't think I can get rid of, there's all kinds of things I can click. I don't think I can get rid of it after I started. I would have to not do it. Yeah, I know we can't see John and Jenna. It pulls up right in the middle of them. I don't, hold on. Let's see if I can. I don't think I can get rid of the vertical after. Hold on. I'm going to see. But that would be bad. Yeah, I can't change it. So next week I can get rid of the portrait if the consensus is we don't like it. I can definitely get rid of that. I just wanted to try it and see if it would work. Apparently it doesn't seem like it's working very well. So I will get rid of it. All right. I'm going to go see if I can see your super chat somewhere else. We're apparently going to have technical difficulties tonight, which does happen. I have a way to see.
I'm going to get the link and put it in the vertical. Oh,
you're going to get
it. John got it. Thank you, John.
Okay. To switch over. I see. Oh, I wonder if they don't show up until after the show's over.
She said that is her channel. It's evidently her other channel. That is her.
Yeah. Oh, that is her. Yeah.
Her?
Yes, so that is the same person.
The one we just showed.
Yeah.
The one that's on the screen right now is her.
Okay. Sold.
She just said it in the chat.
Perfect. Okay. So my answer is Whatnot is a good place if you have time to sit and burn, or if you can leave it and halfway pay attention to it. I actually have credits and I tried to use them earlier today and my patience ran out in about 2 minutes. And I was like, never mind. Because I was trying to like support some other sellers because I have credits I need to use. And I just did not have the patience. I wonder if you can use your credit in the buy it now section. I think you can. If anybody knows, let me know. Like if you can use your Whatnot credits on the marketplace. I don't know why you couldn't, because then I could just search and find something I want. I source 90% of my jewelry from online estate auctions. I have several that I buy from regularly. And I would suggest trying to find one that you see has quality stuff. They don't charge you an arm and a leg for shipping, and ask them how often. Like I have one that's once a month, I have one that's every other week, and I have one that's every week. And unfortunately, 2 of them happen to end tonight. So I have to kind of multitask and pay attention while we are doing this, which is super annoying. And I buy a ton, but I don't buy enough for them to change when they've been ending their auctions for years. So yeah, I would go, my preference is online estate auctions. If there are some in person, I've gotten lucky at one in-person estate sale. It was advertised. It was actually it was a sterling seller whose estate it was. So there were thousands of pieces of sterling. I just happened to come across it. But I was talking to Sam earlier, Jolie Flipped, and apparently her thrift stores and antique malls sell like bags of sterling silver, which I do not have in my area. So if you're lucky enough to have that, definitely check that out. Because she was showing me like some of the bags that she got, which is really, really cool. And we don't have that option here. So here is your whale super chat. Ta-da! All right. At least we found the missing super chat. So I am glad about that. Cindy wants to know, do static buy it now sales on Whatnot go as cheaply as sales in live auction, or is it worth listing on that platform for good sales?
I don't sell on Whatnot right now. I mean, I have a Whatnot account, but I don't. I do a lot of buy it nows when I'm doing an auction, but I haven't done one.
You're better off trying to get deals in a live than you are at a fixed price, because remember, the seller's trying to list that fixed price for what they want for it.
I think she's asking for a seller, like if you're listing items or Whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're listing items on Whatnot, then you should put what you ideally want on your buy it now price, but be willing to accept that you're going to probably get a lot less than that when you put it up on auction. And as far as for good sales, it's a great way to get rid of merchandise, but you're not going to get nearly what you ideally would want to get for those items.
Yeah, I've been back on Whatnot recently, 4 or 5 shows now, and John is right with some things. Like, I am surprised that most of the things I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get top dollar for this. People are gonna love it, and it's like, it sells, and I'm happy with it because I started it at the price, I'm willing to settle for. But then I have these items that I'm like, I'm expecting $2 or $3 or $4, and it goes for like 20 or 30. So somehow for me, God is on my side. It balances out. For static listings on Whatnot, one of my first sales was attempting some vintage Stussy corduroy multicolored pants. And those sold for $60. And the thing with static listings on Whatnot, you could set it to where you don't want to open up to offers like you do on the Bay, or you could be open up to offers as well. So you don't know until you try. I think that's the thing. You got to figure out what works for you. Some people kill it on different platforms. Some people don't. And you just got to keep trying to find what works for you and find your audience. But give it enough time to where you actually see what works and what doesn't. And if you're just falling flat every time with a good amount of time that you invested in, then try something different when all else fails.
Yeah, so I actually probably 2 weeks ago started listing static on Whatnot on their marketplace. I list my items at the exact price I list them for on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and we've made quite a few sales at the full price. I have gotten a few offers, and all the offers were actually pretty decent. I think I accepted all but 1 or 2. So I did that because I talked to Rod, Picking and Punching, and he is selling more on Whatnot static marketplace than he is on Poshmark and Mercari combined. And List Perfectly now has Whatnot as an option to cross post to. That is why I'm doing it. Simple convenience. And it has finally started delisting. It wasn't. And Gina, one of the viewers, sent me showing that List Perfectly's analytics pulled in her Whatnot sales. It hasn't done mine. I've been refreshing it all day. She got me all excited, and mine is not doing it yet. So, and I installed the new Chrome extension. I did everything, and it's not working. But mine did not go as cheaply. They went for what I was asking for on like eBay, Poshmark. They went for full price, and I like it too. We were doing Shop the Shed because now we can go into List Perfectly, pull those ones that, like, if we've had them a year, and I can move them to auction on Whatnot, and people will see pictures and pricing, and I can tell them, okay, I'm going to start this at 50, 60, 70% off and move it in there really easy. So I haven't done that yet, but I am excited to be able to do that. And for us, it's been a good addition. I don't have those numbers. I'm going bonkers to see why. So if anybody knows why, or if you did something special to make Whatnot come up in your sales and analytics, definitely let me know, please. Because I'm like, so, I haven't been excited about anything. I'm like, oh, because she said it even pulled your live sales in. So that would let me get a true picture of like what I earned for the day and for the week with my live sales and static sales combined. But yeah, so I think, yes, I think it's getting extra sales, and Rod is doing good. I think it's going to come down to what you have. A lot of what I did, a lot of my Homer Simpson vintage toys have sold on there. I've sold a couple of jewelry pieces. So it's been in different categories, but I would try it, especially if you're using Liz Perfectly. It's super easy to get them over there. All right. Becky's Vintage and More wants to know, I'm doing live sales on your own channel, what is the best way to let your audience know what upcoming sales will be and when you're going to be on vacation?
Are you talking about on what? You talking about on? Must be talking about on YouTube. Audience, upcoming sales.
I would think on YouTube.
I'm thinking it's YouTube because I know Becky. She's one of ones that are always on my guest on my shows. I always do my thumbnails and set them up on Saturday before the week of the show. If you have only so many shows in a week, I recommend, which I do on Saturday morning, which I get up at 2:00 in the morning and get them all done. But don't wait till the day of first, because it takes 12 to 24 hours, anywhere from 24 to 48 hours for YouTube to actually start pushing them out. But don't wait to the last minute. My recommendation is try to do it ahead, share it out on social media. I have a community calendar that I've been doing for over 5 years for everybody who do have live shows on YouTube. And that's something that you can always check on. But I would recommend doing your videos and set them up ahead of time. And if you're going on vacation when you're live, let people know that. You want to make sure you're transparent about that when you're doing your YouTube online auctions, is what my opinion is.
Well, we've only done 3 live shows on Whatnot, so no one's expecting us, right? So if we don't do another show for 6 months, no one's going to miss us. So that's pretty much the only answer I can give on that question.
Because I think she's actually saying about YouTube on your channel, so I'm assuming it is on.
We don't do that either.
Yeah, we don't sell to our audience really. We don't say, hey, I just listed some things. To be honest with you, I would rather people not even though we give our store information, let people know what we're doing. I'd prefer people not go and rubberneck over at my store, because it does drive up your impressions, and it does mess up some things on the back end. But yeah,
I think John and Jenna do a pretty good job when they talk in their lives. They don't sell on there like they said, but they do very well with informing people of what to look forward to. They're consistently on their channel growing, and I think it's the same relevancy of when you sell is when you're going to be showing up, what to expect, and for people to plan towards it for their schedule if they can make it. Just like we have people inside in this chat, they'll show up like Mark will show up and everybody knows he's not late, he's on his time, right? But that's just the way it goes. It's a familiarity of when you're doing things that is going to help you and people understand you, and you welcome everybody every time, because everybody is welcome. So that's how I pictured this question with John and Jenna, even though they did not see it the way I did. I think that's the special thing about having a panel and talking to people is that you get to learn from one another. And then sometimes you have answers that you wish they would have said, but that's why we're here, to help each other out.
Yeah, so I used to do live sales on my YouTube. I quit just because of the administrative work that comes along with doing your live sales. You have to invoice everybody. You have to keep track of who paid. You have to gather shipping addresses. And I would rather pay Whatnot or District a small percent in order for them to handle the payment processing. It's just so much easier. as far as letting everybody know when your upcoming sales are, I do it throughout the show verbally. And then you can also, like, if you have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you can make a little calendar and like just a photo post and post like, you know, the 6th, I have jewelry, I'm doing scarves the 10th, whatever you're doing, put that out on all of your social media. And that way they can see it and make sure I would almost pre-schedule those lives so that they can bookmark it, you know, and that way they get the reminder, they don't forget. And yeah, I definitely want to put this up. I know Johnny is a veteran. I know Sonny is a veteran. I don't know if John is as well. But thank you both to our
Reseller
panelists.
veteran.
Yes, I'm an eBay veteran. I've been through many wars with eBay. Does that count?
No. Yes.
No, I wanted to thank them for their service. And if we have any service members in the chat, thank you all as well. So Texas Lady, thank you for posting that, because me and my hectic day has totally made me forget what day it was. Serenity Share Stuff wants to know who all is going to Renninger's. If you do not know, Renninger's is in Mount Dora, Florida, and 3 times a year they do a giant antique fair in November, January, February. So that is what they are referring to. Johnny, no.
I'm not. No. I'm in Massachusetts
going.
now, so yeah, it's not easy for me because I'm gonna go to in the first 2 weeks in December. I'll be in Hawaii. So.
Nice.
In this year, that's my second one. So yeah.
I thought about doing that for my birthday. My birthday's Thanksgiving. I talked about it all year, and then I never scheduled it. Now, obviously, it's a little too close to do that. But I will be at Renninger's. If you guys would like to meet me, message me on Instagram or Facebook. And if I don't answer, message again, because a lot of times I don't get the notifications. I am sharing an Airbnb with Sam and Adam from Jolie Flips, so they'll be with me as well. And we can let you know where we're at. If you guys don't know, it's over 40 acres of booths. So the chances of accidentally running into us is probably pretty slim, unless you know like the area where we are going to be. I'm pretty sure Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Lady, will be there as well. There will be other people too. So as far as me, I have no problem telling you, hey, I'm over in this section. Sure, come see me, say hello if you want to do a little meet and greet. But I will be there probably a little bit late Friday, and then I'll be there probably most of the day on Saturday. Sunday, I rented a boat, and my plan is to spend the day on the lake. But if there's amazing stuff and I think I need to go back, I'll go back to Renninger's. But right now, I'm only planning going Friday and Saturday. All right. Miss Linda wants to know, if you had to narrow down what you sell on eBay to only one niche, what would it be?
For me, it's vintage.
I would say not vintage, but just video games, video game systems and video games. Well, but even narrowing it down from just electronics, I would say video games are one of our first pallets we bought when we were full-time back in 2019. We paid $5,000 for, and it had like $50,000 worth of video game systems, games, controllers. And it was one of the coolest lots that I've come across, and it was pretty fun at the same time. So that's probably what I would say. I don't know what you'd say. What would you want to mess with?
I don't want to mess with any of it, but I mean, if the clothing and shoes was not as saturated as it is, I might have an interest in that. But.
See, the thing is, we've removed our fondness for items because it's just a widget to us. Yeah. And so to me, I prefer to sell the item that's going to leave my house as quickly as possible, as close to my price point as possible. So that's kind of the most whatever category or niche that would be. That's where I'd want to be.
I would like name brand, like purses and things like that. Something to get me to be able to do more within our business.
Something that it interests you.
Yeah. Because what we have now and what we do now it's not fun at all to me.
Mm. So y'all two prefer to sell for money, and that makes you happy, not so much of what you're getting. It's like no emotions attached, pretty much.
Right. We have taken the feelings out of everything, because in the very beginning, when we started doing this full time, there was a lot of attachment and a lot of, oh, that looks cool, I want that. Maybe there's two. That was me. Well, after a year or so, I completely cut. I have no emotional feeling towards anything.
See, one of the first lots we bought, even before we went full time, we bought a bulk.com lot, BULKQ, I think. And there's a couple.
I bought a couple pallets from them.
Yeah, there's a couple cool things in the pallet, and then everything else was like, I mean, I don't really feel like listing. It maybe have some value, but I really don't care about this. And I had to learn to get myself beyond that and put my emotions about the item aside, and that's helped me become more productive with our business.
Yeah, that's why a lot of our product can come in and go out very quickly, because we have absolutely no attachment to it.
That's pretty awesome. I think you're the first two I've ever heard say that, because I followed what I've learned from people is sell what you like, right? And I think that's a good starting point, because you're familiar with things that you like. And then I guess eventually you do branch off into like, it's not personal, but it's business. And that'll be your own advice saying that. So I like that. I'm glad we brought this up. Whoever asked the questions, I'll give your answer. But I like apparel, and I would like to resell it because it won't break. I mean, it might find some damages or something like that, but I would do apparel. I like apparel. Jeans, it doesn't matter. Vintage, modern. I like what I like. People buy it, so do they.
If I had to pick one, it would probably be jewelry, just because I can source it very, very easy. There are a lot of high dollar profits, and it's really, really easy to ship. I'm not emotionally attached to my inventory, but I do pick up stuff I like. It's stuff that sells, but it takes a long time, and I get lots, and I'm so cheap and I'm okay with it. I am trying to pull away from doing as much of it as I am. I'm still going to do a little bit of what I like, just to kind of keep it fun. But I want that to be a real, like, small percentage of what I'm doing. And I'm still searching in the categories that I love and I like, but I'm being more particular about what I'm picking up and making sure it's stuff that's going to hopefully sell a little bit faster. Somebody said I look bored. I am extremely tired. I've had like a really, really rough day. So that is that's the look. I am always multitasking as well. So those that said that are also correct. But more than anything, I am exhausted. Yeah, I think it was Chris, which he was one of my first co-host, and his big thing was that you can't get emotionally attached to it. That's money. And it's not even your stuff, it's not your family's stuff that you're doing 9 times out of 10. Some of it might be, but if you really like it for you, like my big thing with it, we have I just bought 12, they're worth $1,200 antique cast iron andirons for the fireplace. So I listed them, and now they're displayed on the side of my fireplace till they sell. So I get to enjoy them while they're there. And then once they're gone, I'll probably look, keep an eye out for another pair of andirons for the fireplace. So it's kind of like a revolving collection, which is nice because you can store some of the nicer items that you have in the house. I do that with a lot of artwork as well that I sell. And when it sells, I'm like, oh yeah, I get to find a new picture for the bathroom. And you can find them. There are plenty of them out there. So I love that. But I don't get overly attached to it really. All right, let's see. Where am I going? Okay. So Gila wants to know, is it okay to hold on sell similar in my drafts and every day relist some of it every day. Will that affect my listings? I mean, will AI notice it as cheating? So I think she's saying, like, if she ends 50 items today that she's going to sell similar, instead of putting 50 items back up today, she'll put up 10 today, 10 tomorrow, you know, etc. Do you guys think that that will harm her by pulling the 50 and then just putting them back up slower?
I don't think it would harm you. I think I know I do it on a regular basis, but when I first started eBay 6 years ago, I used to be this, a listing machine, 40, 50 a day, 60 a day. And it's like, after a while, that gets a little tiring by yourself. But for me, I don't see a problem in it because a lot of times I do that and I leave them in my draft because that gives me more time to change the title, check on the specs that I need to do better pictures. A lot of times our older listings is where we need to adjust some of the things that we maybe did years ago. And maybe there's going to be some things that if you're not really doing your inventory on a yearly basis, that would be a great way to get your listings out there again by updating them, is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what I do. It's part of my daily routine. I get up in the morning, I pick the items that have sold overnight for her so she can get her shipping done. And I take the oldest 10% of my store. I will end it, and then I will do a relist, which is the same as sell similar, except you don't have to take the other step of deleting those items out of your ended. And I think that shows constant activity. I do this every day, by the way. Constant activity that you're giving your account above and beyond the listing that you're going to be doing. And it just develops a routine where you can get in there and check for maybe errors you've created in the listing that you didn't know were there. Maybe you're overpriced. Maybe your title needs to be adjusted. So it allows me to do a number of adjustments because that listing is usually around 30 days old when I do it. So what you're doing, I don't see a problem with. Now, some people would argue, why not just list it all? eBay has actually answered this question many years ago. Is it better to, take one day and just list, and then next week do the same thing and have a 5-6 day gap in between activity versus to spread it out? And they say it's better to spread it out if you're trying to appease the algorithm. So I could tell you, we have right now, it's like under 250 now, trying to build our store up, but we're about 250 items and we've sold in that store around 600 in the last 90 days. So we're churning. And all these little things that we do, I think helps us to be able to do that.
I'm going to be taking that advice. I don't have any input on that. And I think it's a solid recommendation and reasons why with what John shared, because the rule of thumb for me was always be active. And if that means you're not actually getting new items to have new, fresh items listing, then you're still doing the same purpose. Yeah, that's all I got on that one.
I have the hiccups, if you guys haven't noticed. I don't see any problem with it. The only thing is you're holding them off the platform and taking away your chances at sales for those 3 or 4 days until you put them up. That would be the only thing. I've forgotten some days, like I ended them, and I try and relist in the afternoon because I used to do it 6 a.m. every morning, but then if I slept late or had to run Dalton to school, then they had already reposted because I like catching them the day they are reloading. And that way I'm not getting hit with double listings. But I think it will help if you're putting out more every day versus if you're putting them all up at once. Oh my gosh, this is going to drive me crazy.
I'm going to ask someone the same question real quick.
Yeah.
Do any of y'all do the scheduling listings? Like if you have listings in your drafts and you can schedule them, do y'all do that? Because I don't. Does that work for y'all?
Sure. I would do that as well sometimes. Usually what I'll do is if I know that I'm going to be gone for a couple of days, I will bust my butt throughout the week, get more extra listings done that I can earmark to launch by schedule. And that, because I'm always concerned about showing activity to the algorithm, and whether it's making offers end items sell similar, creating new listings, answering questions. That all feeds into the algorithm, and that's just what works for us. And I wouldn't do it any differently.
Back to Kat. They circled
Uh,
around.
I don't know if you have to decide, Archie, I guess, whose hair is the prettiest. That's Archie's.
Mine's a hot,
Why am I not in this
mine's a
conversation?
hot mess, so don't let's go.
I'm just so glad I ain't got that problem. It's just the beard I got to keep up with.
Chad, can you do Kat, can you do a poll?
Yeah, I think I can. Can I view it?
Let's let the people answer this.
If these hiccups don't start,
Sonny's hair is always my favorite. Sonny has the best hair.
start a poll. Okay.
I'm not gonna argue.
Oh my gosh.
Bring out your dollars. We're bringing out the poll. The super chat. Sorry, Matt.
Here, I'm gonna put them all. Oh, I can't put John and Johnny. I only have 4 options.
Johnny? She's been
I'm
called
leaving Johnny out.
Gina,
Johnny Cajun Roots.
I'm Johnny.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's Johnny. That's me.
Yeah.
The poll
All right.
the poll is out. Picasso Cat wants to know, does anyone know how to get rid of the stale perfume smell from scarves?
I had that problem once before. I buy by the bulk. You know the little coal filters you get for the fish tanks? I buy those. They're like maybe a little 10 by 10 little square with the charcoals in the center of it. You can put those in between them, put it in a Ziploc bag and leave it for about 3 to 4 days, and then take it out and let it hang. And I find it works the best. And you can reuse those several times. So, and I think they come in a pack of 10 is what I usually get. It works great for me.
Yes. Activated charcoal is the number one thing that I've heard. Read many things about it, and that's what I would use.
I've only used some sprayer that I got on Amazon for a very, very musty jacket, but it still took like 4 days. And it was probably a combination of everything. I tried the deep freezer method. I tried airing it out. I can't remember what other things I seen online. Like I tried everything. I think it just ended up being so exhausted. It just gave up itself and the odor got released. But it's when you have some things that are pretty like heavy on the scent that even when you wash it, like I can't bear it. I'm very sensitive to smells. So I toss it. Like I just can't do it unless it's really worth it. And even then I added in the description that it has a smell that I'm picking up. But my wife will say, I don't smell anything, but I'm not sure, on what that'll be, but make sure to mention it if there is a smell.
Yeah, I you can put it out in the sun too. Sun is natural ozone. Don't leave it too long or you could get sun bleaching, but lay it out in the sun, for a day for 12 hours on a rack. This is driving me crazy. And I also have used the activated carbon though. I put it in put activated carbon, put tissue paper and then put the item and then seal it for 3 to 4 days. And that did work. I didn't do it with a scarf, but I did it with Barbie clothes and it worked well. Does anybody know what Ellen was asking me what kind I have? I didn't catch what we were talking about then. About what I have. Ellen, let me know.
What kind of hiccups do you have?
Yes.
Annoying.
The most annoying ones, right?
Annoying yawning hiccups, and the yawnings is not making it
The purifier.
go away.
The purifier.
what kind?
Is what she's talking about.
I bought some cheap ones off of, hold on, I'll tell you. I bought cheap ones off of Walmart. And they actually work great. I bought a small one for Dalton's room and oh my gosh. And then I bought 2 big ones, one for my room and one for the other. They are, let's see if I see this brand because they were cheap.
I don't recommend using dryer sheets because some people may be allergic to the scents You may not want to use
Yes.
that on anything you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm cheap. Let me sort this by price, low to high. I bet I'll find it. Come on.
I've heard that before, Michael. Pack of sugar, spoonful of sugar.
That's Mary
This is
Poppins.
killing me. Key, is that it? Oh, now it's gone. I guess they're discontinued. Now I can never get them again.
And sometimes I
Not
call
air
it in
fryer.
quarantine if I have to, and I'll put it in my garage and let it sit there for a while. And usually that helps too. But I haven't had any problems with perfume.
Yeah.
I cannot find them. That's lovely. They were on Walmart. They were on clearance on Walmart too. They had good ratings though, but they're working very, very well, and I like them. I will remember the name if I see it, but I am not. Oh my gosh, I am not seeing it.
Just
Somebody's
as bad as my
supposed to
baby.
I know, right?
His hiccups are cute.
I'm giving up. Oh, hello, Kat. Step 1, sign in and look at your purchase history.
That might be why.
Right.
Might find it, yeah.
That might be an easy way to do this. 414701. That's my code if anybody wants to sign in as me. Okay. Or not. It said you may not get it. Oh, I was dyslexic. Ah! This should not be this difficult. But I really, really like them. And they've made a very noticeable difference in the house, which is especially when you have an older house. And ours, again, is coming up on 100 years old. So to me, having, the purifier, I think is worth it. It's called KNKA. It's an off brand, but the brand is KNKA. Hold on. I'll send you. I'm trying to send you a link. Here it is. This is the one I got. And this one has where you can add the essential oils to it, which I know a lot of people have been telling me that the essential oils are bad for you, but it won't. It will not allow me to copy it. It said nope. So KNKA. That is all I can give you. All right. Listen, Gino's giving me a hard time because I said I rented the boat at Renninger. I rented it at Lake Harris, which is like 30 minutes from Mount Dora. So it's not far. But I think we're supposed to warm up this weekend because like today the high was 60, which is a little chilly to be out on a boat on the lake, especially if it's windy. And hopefully it will go up. All right. Bug says she got an INAD for a hair straightener that worked perfectly fine. The issue was she thought it was green when she described it as teal. What are your thoughts on that situation?
So it was something you bought?
No, she sold it and they said it was not as described because she said it was teal and the buyer says, no, it's not teal, it's green.
My personal opinion, especially in the description or in the title, I would have put a couple of different colors that are close to teal because some people may take teal as teal blue, teal green, or aqua. People see different colors different ways. You don't know, maybe they may be colorblind and not sure. I personally would have put a couple of different choices of colors that are close to that, in my opinion.
Well, as far as what are your thoughts on that situation, there's not a whole lot you can do as a seller except for accept the return. The buyer can say whatever they want to say about it, but at the end of the day, you have to accept the return by the date given. Otherwise, you're going to put yourself in a position to have a defect, a case closed without seller resolution. So you want to avoid that. Accept the return. It sucks. You're probably going to have to provide a return label and process the return as quickly as possible when you get it back. And just learn from that experience, relist it, taking that feedback into consideration, like the answer you're given before, and maybe add the different options to the listing.
Yeah, I would definitely add multiple, because I might say it's teal, but somebody else might call it turquoise, and so I would just put multiple, like you said, just put multiple colors in there just to cover all your bases.
Mhm.
Shopping with Cheryl asked a question for this. Does the color of hair straightener matter? That is a good point, but sometimes people want what they want.
Yeah.
I guess
Really?
green just makes it a little bit more shinier, gives it a nice shine.
Maybe it
I will
matches
say
the
this
bathroom.
is very relevant to me. I didn't find out I was colorblind until I joined the military, and I'm always screwing up colors. So when I know I can't figure something out, even using apps and the glasses that I got from my Flippin van life, Sandy, she blessed me with some of the colorblind glasses. It still doesn't help with all the colors, but it helps a lot. When I'm like feel brave, put the colors, item specific, title, whatever, but in the description, I know it doesn't matter because it kind of goes off with what I'm saying, right? With the other information, I'll say I think it's green, but I'm colorblind. look at the second photo or something. That's the best that I see matching my eyes with the image, right? So it might be a little much. Or the other option I do is I literally ask my wife, babe, what's this color? Because colors are important to some people and for some items.
I didn't know you
Struggle
were
of my life.
colorblind.
Yeah, but I feel like colors are slightly opinion based. Like what I think is teal, somebody else might not think is teal, and like turquoise might be different than teal. And like, what color of blue is it? Is it navy blue? Is it light blue? Is it medium blue? Is it blah 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 blah? I would honestly, if I had this happen, I would just take it and deal with it because there's nothing you can really do. They filed the INAD. I agree with Johnny though. Like if I put teal, I'm also gonna have green and blue in the title. I'll be like, well, I put it was green, blue, and teal. It was one of the colors. Like, and hopefully that would at least get that. But I wouldn't be mad. I would just take it and let it roll off my back. That's kind of what I've learned to do with the returns and the INADs because it's really not worth getting mad over, in my opinion. All right. Constant says, you guys probably already know this, but I learned the hard way not to buy blue box vintage clothing box. Dreadful smells, and only 3 out of 14 pieces have any chance of selling. Is that like the Goodwill? Like, is that one of Goodwill's vintage clothing boxes? I'm not super familiar with that brand.
I don't buy any of those. If I don't see it in person, I don't buy it like that, especially with clothing.
And I did not know that. So I had no idea. But we don't buy a lot of clothing like that. I mean, generally, if we buy clothing, it's going to be something that's a home run that, like I can't pass it up kind of thing. But no, I've never heard of Blue Box Vintage.
I've never heard of it either.
I'm pretty sure it's a Goodwill like
that's
box
what I was
that
thinking
you can
originally.
buy. And like I think that I heard that about their plush boxes, not necessarily the vintage clothing ones. I don't like mystery boxes. I would rather at least look at a crappy one picture of an online auction lot I'm getting and think I see something good. I don't like the whole blindly let me buy this vintage purse box or, vintage. That's just not my thing. So I would probably stay away from it. There's so many online auction lots that will tell you who or like what is in it. You'll probably get it cheaper than their vintage mystery box, in my opinion. What's the verdict? Sonny won, and Jenna, and then me, and then John's in last place.
How did anybody give me 7 votes? I don't understand that.
Because you have a nice haircut. You just didn't show it off. You wasted an opportunity.
No. I should have had 0 votes in this one. It's not even close.
All right. How many? We only have 2 beards. We have Johnny and John.
That's not a beard. It's just
He said that's not a
Stash.
beard, so we're not gonna
I
do
live
the
by
beard
default.
thing.
This is me after a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wish that would happen when I shave my legs.
I know, right? It would never come back. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Becky said she does have her thumbnails up for the month, like for her future shows, but she was thinking about doing a post on her channel too, like on her community page with the dates and times. Other people do videos of where they're going to be throughout the week. So I think what works is going to be opinion based for sure. And it's also going to depend on you and your audience and what they're paying attention to. Some of your audience might not pay attention to that community feed. Some of them might not even pay attention to the thumbnails. I would look and like when you go live, I would ask them what led them there. Like, did you hear me talk about it the last show? Did you see a post on Facebook, Instagram? I would ask your audience what they are using to get there. That's what I would do personally.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Oh, I was, yeah, because I know Becky, but I like, because of the fact in the mornings, I do a morning show Monday through Friday at 8:30 every morning. And I'm always telling people to please promote where you're going to be, especially if you're doing a live that day or if you got something going on, promote it. And that's one of the things that you want to do too. If you're in other chats that are promoting what you're doing as a community, be part of those communities and promote it that way as well. Because I do that every morning. And then we do the Monday night wind down. It's a Monday night at 4:00. This is Eastern Standard Time. And I do that as well every Monday night. But yeah, be involved in the community and let people know what you do.
Yeah, I think consistency is probably the best thing advice I can give. So if your audience knows that you're going to be like we do lives on Mondays and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern, and the audience, they find the show, and if they like it, they're going to come back. They know that we're going to be there unless something comes up. And just being consistent, I think, is the biggest key. I got to do a better job of posting shorts and more community posts and things like that. But short of that, just rely on the consistency.
I've been very consistent on Whatnot. eBay, not so much because I haven't had the time to just sit down and list items, titles, specifics. And also Whatnot has been very helpful for me recently. And being consistent has been a world of wonders. Just yesterday and today, a matter of 3 hours, $400 after fees, which is good because I just bounced to the hospital like I've been telling people. But today, in my head, Mondays and Fridays, I do my auctions, and I always announce it. I told people throughout my shows, but today I didn't. I just even myself forgot that I was going to do a Veterans Day sale. People showed up because they're following me and have the alert to follow me, but it was nowhere as good as the days that I mentioned, Monday and Friday. And I don't blame it on anybody. That's on me. I didn't do my announcements. I didn't share the link on Instagram and the post and all that. So all these little things are not difficult. It just takes a matter of you focusing down like a good solid 5, maybe 10 minutes. Put it out there, let it do its thing, and maybe highlight some of the items that you have. And the more you do it, also a good thing to tell people is share your information. If you're on a live stream or if you're going to be even just talking on a platform, tell people how they could help you. And some will, not everybody will, but it helps. One goes a long way. You never know who knows who and who they know that could lead coming over. I had somebody on Whatnot yesterday, I think I didn't even know you could do this, promoted my Whatnot with $25. And all of a sudden I got a flood of people coming in, new buyers, more sales than I had. So it helps, that one person of doing something, not that they have to spend money, but you just never know what opportunities are come by being a good person, being a good representative, reflection of the community as well, and yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I just did my salt and pepper shaker show yesterday, which was absolutely incredible. I was so tired. That's kind of what like rolled into me being tired today. I got 3 hours of sleep last night. I was live on Whatnot for 5.5 hours, and I sold 165 pairs of salt and pepper shakers. I could have kept selling more, but I was so drained. I was just done. And I was like, okay, we will finish doing the rest of these at a later time. But I did a research video on salt and pepper shakers, which got the interest up in them. And then at the end, I showed a clip of the collection that I bought. And then I posted an hour before with like a countdown that I was going to be live. The crazy thing to me is I did so well, and Whatnot's casting feature was broke for me. My show didn't even cast out to YouTube and Facebook. So I didn't get to even kind of capitalize on my audience, and still did absolutely excellent, which makes me wonder what would have happened if the casting actually would have worked like I wanted. But it was an amazing show. And I was very, very happy with what I did. So now I've got to go through, reorganize all what's left, take pictures, because a lot of people have asked what's left. And then we will do one more show. And probably at the end of that one, I will lot them together in like lots of 5 for reseller lots or collector lots. And I'll just move them because I want them all gone. The average selling price on the salt and pepper shakers was $8.29 per pair, which I'm very, very happy with. Very, very happy with that. It was an incredible show. It was definitely more than what I was expecting. So I was like, but I just had to stop, because what I kept doing when I ran out of requests, I was like, okay, let's go on a field trip. And then they'd pick a bunch again. And the last time I was so tired, I'm like, no more field trips. Field trips are over. We're done. And then I was so hyped up because the sale did so good. I couldn't go to sleep till 3 o'clock in the morning, and I got no sleep. So that's a lot of why I am super exhausted today. But basically getting it out there, like doing shorts about it, do a video with a short. Hey guys, this is what's coming up on my next vintage, whatever show. Here's what's going to be in it. Have it scheduled, go bookmark it, use your Whatnot referral, get the $5 in credit. So if you guys don't know, if you refer another buyer, they get $15 free, which they can spend on your stuff or someone else's, plus you get a $5 credit to spend. So it kind of works for both. And yeah, so that's what I would do. Mark, I am not well, I'm kind of neglecting you, but I saw you there. Mark came in at exactly 9:11, like he always does, and he always gets the Rod super chat. So
thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
We're loud. He's not here. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to put this up. The costume jeweler said we need a giant antique fair near Tampa. I looked it up. It looks like it's an hour and 42 minutes. Honestly, it's worth the drive, in my opinion. It's 40 acres of vendors. I would say you probably need to be in pretty good shape. Mount Dora is the only mountain in Florida. It is like hiking. It is on dirt. It is uneven. Be wearing walking shoes. It can be very physical at that antique fair. If you're not prepared, it will catch you off guard. They do sell beer if it stresses you out, which it does me sometimes. So I walk around with beer. But it is very, very big. Even in the 3 days, you're not going to be able to see all the vendors. So yeah, definitely. They have, I know of 3 sterling silver sellers that sell it by the gram. 2 sell it pretty decent. 1 is pretty high, but I've been able to find marked pieces that are worth way more than the weight. So it just takes a lot of time of digging through, which I like digging through a sterling. But definitely it's worth it. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I would come check it out if you were able to. All right. Linda McKee says, I have been selling for over 10 years. I haven't been able to really do anything with my store for the past year due to physical injuries. What's the best way to restart my reselling?
I would gradually do as much as you can, but also, like we talked about earlier, schedule if you have to. Schedule your listings to go out on a regular basis. If you have listings still there, I would refresh them. Give it some new titles, maybe refreshing your pictures if you have to. Check your descriptions, your item specifics. But if you can't do it all at one time, I would schedule them out. I do this every day, so I don't use the scheduling portion of it, but I hear it's really great. I know John and them do it as well. Schedule your items out if you have to, but get some kind of activity on a regular basis. One of the things I keep hearing on a lot of YouTube channels lately was that they don't answer no one's emails. They don't go back and answer any customer questions that they get. I answer every single one of them. So everything from even feedback to answering questions, it could be something minor. And you may have it in the description bar. I will even go in and I just copy and paste it from the description bar. Just little things like that. You'd be surprised on what can get you started. Just little things like that is my opinion.
I agree with that. What I would say to do, if you have a store that has items that have not sold, let's say maybe they're sitting around for over 90 days or 6 months, eBay keeps track of that. You got your old stale listings. They actually do keep track of that. And the best way I would do it, if I was to resume reselling, like let's say take a break and have like my stuff still there, but come back and really take a serious effort at it, I would do a nuclear reset. And what that is, it's taking all your listings in your store, ending them, and then relisting or sell similar on those. Relisting would probably be your best bet. But now you've got, and of course you're changing things too if you can, but get those items refreshed by doing a nuclear reset. And it works.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm curious to what you're selling. I'm thinking for me, like if I was to do a nuclear reset, I could think of some apparel that I could have what we talked about last week as a money shot, where it's more of like the pattern, the collar, not so much of the whole item. If it's all one thing, those little tweaks with your relistings hopefully will help. Sometimes that helps, even that little change. I've had that done before, or I've done that before, to where I've changed these little things in the title that I didn't realize I didn't put an actual size in there. I just put size, color, and so on. And within minutes, boom, it sells. And I'm like, oh, was that it? Just that one little thing didn't pick up somehow and it sold, or did it get lucky? So I would do a reset. It wasn't mentioned, but I would say do not try to change everything, because you got these items for a reason and you're familiar with them and you already know the value. So I would do that. But if you're wanting to push it a little bit more, maybe consider promoting it. I don't go any higher than 3%. That's just me. And with the other advice, take what you can and see what works for you. And sometimes, like Kat, I mean, she pays for her help. She has people that help her out. Maybe there's somebody in your area that is maybe looking for like a little job on the side for your business, and hopefully that'll help. Because that's what I'm leaning towards in the future once things my son gets home, is that I want to look at getting some help to listings and me not having to worry about that, because I want to get back to eBay and not just get to whatnot, and also get back to knickknack.
Yeah, so for me, the biggest thing is just going to be get back into consistent listings, and once you're consistently listing, it is coming in. I would think about, like, depending on what physical injuries you've had, and if you still have like remaining issues from those, I would definitely pay close attention to what you're sourcing. Maybe try and do smaller, lighter items that aren't going to physically tax you. And I agree. Like, the live selling is definitely fun. If you can build an audience on Instagram or on Facebook, you can sell direct. I haven't really done a ton of that. There's so many different ways and avenues to make money in this business. You could also do some Facebook Marketplace if you have a good area for that. I don't feel like I do where I'm at, but that I might try. I've started seeing like some super cute pieces that are, not giant, but bigger pieces. I might try listing those onto Facebook Marketplace and just see, because it's nice to have extra income that's coming in where other stuff is slow. Like I was lucky yesterday. I had an excellent whatnot sale plus an excellent eBay day, but today eBay's slow, so you gotta hopefully once you get back cross or posting on eBay, I would try and think of some other ways to kind of get it in, but I would be very cognizant of what inventory you're picking up, because you don't want to aggravate any old injury or anything like that.
Mhm.
All right, this one we haven't had in a while, and I think it's a good question because I think a majority of the viewers that come to the show are newer sellers. So what is the best advice you would have for new eBay sellers?
I'm going to give the advice that I did for myself. When you first want to start out doing eBay and you're doing a part, say you work in a job and you want to do this to get started, don't quit your job right away, please. You want to make sure you can sustain income from it, but start with what you have. The way I did mine was when I moved from Louisiana to Massachusetts, I typically took something that if it was still new, never used, I haven't touched, or it was never touched in 3 to 6 months. It got put in a box marked inventory, eBay, basement, because that's where I knew I was going to be when we already picked the house. So start with what you have. Even start with smaller things so you can get used to the shipping. Because on your shipping, if you're not on a store level, you won't get the free shipping supplies. So you got to remember you have to find your own shipping supplies to start with. But start with what you already have. Also, if there's things that you like, go to thrift stores. Go on the days that they have a half off colors. Go to your bulk buys at your antique stores. They have great sales there too on the stores. But also estate sales, garage sales. It's amazing on how you can take an IKEA bag or a large bag, go to these type of sales, put everything in one. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to want you to make an offer. Or they make an offer of everything you have in one bag, and that's where you can start making the money. Again, start with what you have and do not go overboard. Then what you do is you take that when you sell it, put it back in the business and buy more inventory. That's my opinion.
Well, I think that not everyone's cut out to be a reseller. And the biggest mistake that you can make is to go out and buy a bunch of merchandise and then feel like, I can't do this. And case in point, I had a friend that retired. This is a number of years ago. I said, you know what? Let me show you reselling. Why don't you go in halves on a pallet with me, right? And 2 weeks in, he's like, I'm done with this. I don't know how you do it, but I'm not doing this anymore. And I'm done. And it's like he was already into it for like $1,500. So that's a loss. I bought him out, so he didn't really lose anything. But short of that, if you're in that position, you go out and buy a bunch of stuff at a yard sale, and you're new, you don't have all the the tricks, then you might be buying things too high or stuff that doesn't sell because it looks cute or it, all the different reasons. And the best way to do it is to just simply go in your closet, go in your garage, your attic, whatever, that tub that you've been sitting on, go through it, find things that maybe you can look up on eBay or whatever platform you want to sell on and see what it goes for. You're into it for zero cost. Get that stuff listed and build up funds. So then you can, and all the while you're watching videos, getting tips on how to buy right. And then you have money to go and buy merchandise and you're not out of pocket. That's probably the best advice I can give. And then by then, if you have all that stuff pulled out of your house, you'll know if you want to continue or not. It's like, you won't make the same mistake my friend did.
Yeah, I also think don't be afraid to ask questions to the community. We have, obviously, there's all of us who have channels and we give our information for free. Don't go getting yourself wrapped up in some kind of a deal where someone's saying, oh, well, I'll give you all the information you need for $39.95. Don't do that. All the information is free. You just have to be vigilant and look for different creators that are going to be giving the information that you need.
John brought up a point that I experienced with my friend Caesar, who was on with us before, Epic Squared. I was going to the flea market. The thing he brought up was buying people out. So we went to a yard sale together, Caesar and I, and this lady had a ton of brand new apparel that was like dead stock, valuable pieces. and you could tell by the looks of her, like she was very much in the fashion and some high retail store management of some sort. Like she came out like, for a garage sale, you're dressed like this, you should be like in a beauty pageant. So I'm looking at the things on her rack, and her garage was full with shoes, apparel, and I asked for one of the pieces, a Polo Ralph Lauren jacket, and she was like, "Oh, I'll do that. You know, I'll settle for $80." And I'm like, "You already took me out almost. I am not the kind of person, right?" So and there was a lot of stuff. Caesar turned around and says, "Well, what do you want for all of it? You know, you don't want to take this back in the house." And this was early on in the day. We were probably the first people there. She said, "I'll take $350." And he was like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Oh, I would have took out more money for $350, right?" But those are things that I found that moment was very valuable to me, because I started thinking, okay, I'm selling these things for $10, $15. I need to scale up and I need to save more. And I have like different types of savings, from like personal, family, and then spending, saving for my business. So lately I've been very fortunate with going to places and asking, what would you do for all of this? And it's been blowing my mind. 250 to like pieces for like $50, $30. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You just told this person this one item was $10 for them, and now you're selling 200 pieces to me for $50. But I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to say, here's my money. Thank you, sir. And thank you, ma'am. So I say that because learn to save more than just, oh, I got money coming in, let me go buy a little bit more stuff, and then repeat. Your whole focus is to make money and save money, as well as keeping the beast fed.
Yeah. Can I add to that real quick?
Yeah.
A couple years ago, like 2 years ago, actually, I was at a yard sale, and I came across this lady had just her whole driveway filled with shoes. And they're good shoes too, like Nike, Jordans, Adidas. I picked up this pair of, I think at the time they're the Ultra Boost Adidas. And I'm like, how much you want for this pair? $8. And I'm like, I could probably do that, but I like to get it as low as I can. So I said, how? And she was still pulling more shoes out, by the way, out of the garage. And I'm like, how much for all of it? And I had $200. I said, how much for all of it? She's like, I'll take that. All right. So I shooed everyone away that was looking at the shoes. We got them in tubs, and I had so many shoes that it wouldn't fit in my SUV. I had to call her with the other car to come get the shoes. And she started pulling more shoes out of the garage. And I'm like, wait, you didn't tell me there was more in that garage. How much more do you want for the rest of it in your garage? So I'll give you another $100. She's like, okay, sold. So I had shoes coming out of my ears. And if I would have paid the price based on what she initially had said, it would have been 10x what I paid her. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up, Sonny, because that's a good thing. And don't be afraid to hurt someone's feelings. If they say, look, I want $5 for this, the worst thing that they're going to say is if you say, well, will you take two? They'll say no, right? So you give them $5, but you'll be surprised how many people will come down to the price from what they're asking. And if they're okay with it, you know what? Your business is going to be better for it.
I'm going to piggyback off of you on that one.
We're going the other way now. This is like the Uno reverse card.
It reminds me, though, don't forget, if you go to a garage sale, I did this 3 years ago. We went to the citywide garage sale, and this lady had these racks. And I mean, like your typical department store racks for clothing. And I mean, she had, her driveway was almost full on one side of all LuLaRoe outfits, brand new with tags. And the lady she had, like, if you bought one, it was $8. If you bought two, it was $12. And if you bought three or more, it was $15. So I went up to her and I asked her, I said, how much for all of it? Instead of buying pieces, there was a lady looking at them, and she was looking at a couple pieces. And I asked her, and when she said $60 and we came out to 120 pieces of LuLaRoe outfits, brand new with tags, I couldn't get the $60 out of my pocket fast enough. I sold 3 pieces and got all my profit back of the $6, and then got in the profit for the rest of it. And I sold it all. Don't be afraid to buy in bulk. What do you take for all of it? You'll be surprised. They just want to get rid of it.
That's what got me in trouble and has me 9,000 items in my store, unfortunately. So I am going to give this tip, and I wanted to put this up there because I think this is super important, and I'm going to agree with Michelle, and it's something I personally neglected to impress upon my users for the first 3 years of my channel, and that is that you need to learn the comps, you need to learn the sell-through rates, and you need to not just that, but after you get the item, you need to comp off of sold items. Do not comp off of listed items unless there are, say, 3 listed and 5 sold. Then I'm going to look at the listed prices because there's more sold than there is listings. The demand is there. But if you're not looking at this, like John and Jenna were saying, they took the emotion out of it, which I have to an extent. But if I learned very early on something that I think is really super cute is not going to sell. Like, I think it's cute, but not enough people think it's cute to buy it and pay for it and pay for shipping. So, like, a lot of my stuff like that is stuff that I don't mind displaying. So if it hangs out for 2 years, it's like a temporary collection for me. But I don't want to buy stuff like that that's going to be hidden and thrown in a box, right? If it's like a artwork piece or like my Kachina dolls that I have the display of, that stuff I'm okay with. But you need to be very careful and you need to know how to do it. Like when I'm doing clothing, you don't want to just put like Columbia fishing shirt. You better add a size because the sell-through rate on a small is going to be way different than an XXL. And the color, like I will put the size, the color, and the brand to get a very, very accurate sell-through rate. Because if you're new, you don't have a lot of space, you're going to end up with a lot of stuff sitting there not selling, which equals a lot of money sitting there invested that you're not making back. You can't buy more inventory. So be very, very careful about comping. Be very careful about sell-through rate. If there's stuff you like that you're okay holding on to, I have stuff like that. My vintage linens, I buy them so cheap. It's not a ton invested sitting there. Like 1 or 2 pieces, like Johnny was saying, 1 or 2 pieces sell. That stuff's paid for. So it's just sitting there. The rest is all profit. But if you don't have a big area to store it in, then that's going to become a problem. And I think also being cognizant of your organization, because yeah, you might only have 100 right now and you know where everything's at, but what happens when you get to 2, 3, 4, 500 or 1,000 and you can't find those items, and now you're losing sales and possibly messing up your metrics. So that's a lot of stuff that I think people don't really think about because it's fun. You're finding stuff. It's cute. You think it's going to sell, but the reality is it isn't. And with those lots, what I have learned and done very well with, I will tell you guys, I don't know if they're still back there. I don't see them. Oh, they are. They're over there. There is one box top that is half full of probably 20 pairs of salt and pepper shakers that I pulled out of 250 that I did not offer for $3. Very, very strict on what I pulled out. The rest I'm letting go for $3, where some of them were $20, $25, $30 a pair. They were, but they were probably going to sit there forever, and I sold them in a day. So I wish I had known and had the discipline to do that when I first started doing lots, because my mindset, and it still is somewhat in that, it's really hard to work on it, is that I wanted to pull every single penny out of that lot that I could. Even if that means I'm listing a $10 item with a 10% sell-through rate, which is not a good business move in my mind. Now, if I have 3 of those $10 items, I can lot them up and somebody will buy them faster. I'm doing that. But instead of like, oh, if I list them individually, I get 10 versus list the 3 together, get 7 each, but a $21 sale, that's what I should be doing. So I think really, really look at that and be cognizant of what you're listing. Linda sent a $10 super chat and said thank you, and thank you to all of our veterans. Yes, we said it earlier. We will say it again. We do appreciate your service. And I think this is the perfect super chat for this one.
like
the
that one.
Eagle, which I don't play hardly at all. I need to play him more.
Caca.
All right. Marsha wants to know, what is your holy grail you would like to find while sourcing?
I don't really have a holy grail. Anything that would make me money, but I'm very picky on what I pick up. So I really don't have a holy grail. Whatever I can find that can turn money, but I'm very picky.
Yeah, one of those big gold chains the rappers used to wear. If I could find one that's real, that's a holy grail. But
That
no,
would be lovely.
yeah,
it would be.
yeah, $4,000 an ounce. I'll take that. But no,
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's just I can't tell you. I really look for holy grails. I just stumble upon them once in a very blue moon. The one that I can give you an example of is one where I almost walked away for $5. I don't know if I would have. It was over $5 difference in price, but I was at a yard sale and they had this thing, and I didn't know what Space 1999 was. I've never watched the show as a kid, and it looked kind of cool, but it was a big model of the spacecraft, and it was in the box in a case with the styrofoam. And I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. And it came with a gun, a replica gun, like the laser gun or whatever it was. And it had a artist canvas of the person that painted for the show or whatever. The artist was like 4 of 4, so there's only 4 made. And so I'm like, how much do you want for it? And she's like, well, make me an offer. And I'm like, I don't know too much. So I went back to the car and I'm like, this looks too good to be true. So I said, take 70. And that's more than I really want to spend because I don't know a whole lot about this. She's like 75. And I hemmed and hawed, and I'm like, okay, fine. So took it home, and I had all of it sold. This is on a Saturday evening that I had it listed. By Sunday morning when I woke up, all of it sold for $1,800. The ship, the gun, and the painting from a collector. So that was my holy grail, and it was quite cool.
It also had an authentic. How do you
They
say?
Didn't come with a certificate of authenticity.
What was that certificate?
It didn't have a certificate, but it had that painting, that canvas painting of the ship, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Jenna, what would be your holy grail?
I don't really have one.
Her holy grail is something that would be easy to ship.
Something that is small and easy to ship. That's all because I am the shipper. And so if it's small, if it can fit in a 8x6x4, I am right there.
Because if it fits her like list, she's going to want to keep it.
Yeah.
So it's not getting sold. That's not a holy grail type of situation.
Yeah, there's a very good reason why we sell what we sell is because I like to keep a lot. And if I like it, if it matches my house or it matches my style, I will hold on to it and I will keep it, or I'll give it to my family members or whatever. And so I had to stop doing all of that. So I don't go to thrift stores. I don't go to yard sales. I don't do any of that because what I'm buying is for me.
I would like to find something that'll pay off my house. That would make a huge difference.
That gold chain,
because the house is paid, but I could probably semi-retire my wife. I've been telling her like my goals, and like if I get to this point, you don't have to work. And I'm like, oh, what? But what happening with our son has happened. What has happened with our son and what he's going through, like that insurance is the big part that I would not want her to leave. It would still be her choice because she's the boss. But that would make a big difference paying off the house. She could decide when she wants to work, and we could have all this time together, with our little one. So that's my type of holy grail. It's what benefits us to just have her not be there. For the nurses like Kat who know, and others, like it's pretty tough. I've been in the hospital every day since September 3rd and seeing how people work, like the medical field. And I don't disagree with what they're saying. I'm not saying who said what, but it's just like, wow, they're not getting what I feel they should be getting. Respect to our medical field.
Amen to that.
Yeah, so for me, I don't have like one giant thing. I'm more about like finding the really, really good profits. I just got, and I'm gonna get it listed tomorrow. It is the coolest thing. It is a antique oriental axe head with carvings, and I have the certificate of authenticity from a museum that is dated 1820 to 1850. So I actually have the provenance with it. We just got it in the mail, and I think I'm going to put it on an auction. Started at 1,000. I'm about 400 in, so I'll, close to double my money. But that's something that's so rare. And I feel like the Oriental market and buying has been very high because a lot of my higher costume jewelry goes to Japan. So this is, I think, an artifact that hopefully it'll do good. We were talking about it because like I'm trying to come up with a lot of money. I was like, wouldn't it be amazing if this one axe head goes like, it's one of those stories, that like goes for $20,000. When I paid, I did pay up. I paid over 400, but it's cool because it's got like the official stamp from the museum, the papers, and like a plastic case. And it's just a really, really neat piece that's over 200 years old with like hieroglyphics carved into it. It's really, really awesome. But I don't have like, there's not one thing that I'd be like, like I found a Mary Hadley last week. I love Mary Hadley pottery, so that was nice. I like finding raku because I collect it. But that's another thing. Like I have a $300 raku bowl. I listed it. It's in my house. I am displaying it. But I have it displayed and I listed it. I kept one out of a lot I just got because mine on my nightstand got destroyed by accident. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep one. It's not going to get listed. And then I'm going to list the rest. All right, let's see. Fun Junk Stuff says, am I the only one getting asked to check calculations for the shipping because the shipping seems high on an item?
You're not the only one. A week or two ago, somebody in my chat in the morning show pointed out an item that I had in my store. I find, this is my opinion, every time eBay does updates, they mess around with my business policies. And it changes the shipping. So I have to physically go back into my shipping policies because you're going to have them. You may not know you do. And then I'll go in and have to recalculate, and I do calculated shipping. But for some reason, once I changed it and just went and tweaked it a little bit to check it out what was going on, my shipping went right back to normal like it should be. But yes, that has happened. And I find it always happens when eBay does updates. What about y'all?
Well, we get people that'll message me and say, "Oh, the shipping seems kind of high," and we have multiple business policies for each type of shipping. So we'll have USPS Ground Advantage, we'll have FedEx Ground, we'll have FedEx Economy. I'll have even a dual one where it has the Ground Advantage and FedEx. The buyer gets to choose. I have it all, and a couple things happen sometimes. And I've been using the shipping calculator to try to figure out which shipping policy is best. But sometimes, for whatever reason, I'll go and look and it's like the wrong shipping policies on there. So it could be something tied into that. And I'll change it and I'll let them know, go check it now. But also, I just think sometimes people, they're so used to getting the free shipping, right? So they think shipping, some buyers, I really think shipping's free because they see that there's free shipping. So when they see that you have calculated shipping, they think, because they're not sellers themselves, they're like, that seems kind of high, but they have nothing to reference it on, right? Because I guarantee you, if you go into the post office with the non-discounted rates, you're going to see a bigger number than that. But yeah. I try to tell them, we pass on our eBay discount to you. We do add like $1 or $2 handling to kind of cover the eBay fees that are on that shipping label. But other than that, you're getting a discounted rate from eBay and we pass it on to you. And that is the best rate after I've double checked everything. That's the best rate I can give you at this point. And I think what's happening is though they're looking at that initial price. This is one thing that I might need to work on to help my conversion rate, because see, someone might see an item for $40 plus shipping. They ignore the shipping part. They see the $40. They get into the listing. Maybe they're clicking into the buy it now, and they stop themselves. Oh, it's actually 70 after taxes and shipping, and then they click out of it, right? And I think that's a big sticking point. But I sell large items, so I can't really give free shipping because I don't know where this thing's going to go to.
Yep.
So, that's my long answer to a short question.
I have nothing to add. They covered one thing that I was going to say. I'm not going to say what it was because it wasn't nothing big.
Yeah,
That's what I have
I've
to
been
say about that.
been getting quite a few, and I just tell them, and I don't pass the discount on, but I tell them it's calculated. This is exactly what the postal rate is. I'm not charging handling fees, and that right now shipping is up for holiday shipping, unfortunately, which increases the rates, and they have significantly increased over the last 2 years. I don't know if adding on, like, hey, if you buy a second item, we do combine shipping, so that would lower it. That might be a good tactic to go back at those people with, like, or even search your store, like if they're buying a football shirt, and be like, hey, I have another shirt in your size. If we combine shipping, it's only going to be half of that on each, or something like that, just to try and kind of convert them over. All right. We are going to wrap it up with a super sticker, and then I will let everybody say bye. I feel like this night has flown by, probably because we started with so many technical difficulties. I think that took a little while of it up. Rhonda sent a $5 super sticker. What have I not done? We have not. I did my whale. We have not. Oh, we haven't done my octopus. Here's my octopus. Dun, dun. All right. Let's let everybody tell you bye, let you know where they can find you, and or where you can find them. I said that backwards. Where you can find them, and then Sonny and myself will do so as well. So here is Mr. Johnny.
You can find me here on YouTube every Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do a morning show, Q&A. We do the morning boost on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Fridays, I do Would You Buy It or Would You Leave It? It's a game we play every Friday. Every Monday night is the Wind Down Monday from a Hectic Manic Monday. We usually try to have a guest. This Monday coming, we're going to have a channel that is in our chat, supporting the channel, that she's going to be talking about cooking homemade food for your pets of different kind. And then this past yesterday, we had a guest that talked about if you were interested in getting into writing books and publishing and you're needing an editor, he does that. He's on in our community as well. Every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do a hump day auction. That's with 3 co-hosts and 2 guests, and that's every Wednesday at 1 p.m. First Tuesday of the month, I always do a members rapid fire round of an auction for those who are members of the channel. I do have 2 channels because the last Saturday of each month, I also do for the community. It's called the Reseller Community Shop Hop. That starts at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's 12 resellers, each get 30 minutes uploaded video where we do it as a premiere. And it's basically going from channel to channel. And it starts on my first channel that I've started. Actually, the 28th of this month will be 6 years I've been doing YouTube. And that is my Cajun Roots Resellers Adventures channel. And then I do the New England Cajun Roots Reseller, which is the one I do my bigger channel. And I also have cooking channel. I have a pets channel for my pets and quilting. So those I'm building up, and that's where you can find me, and come check me out.
Perfect. Here's John and Jenna.
I'm not as busy as Johnny on YouTube, but we have our channel, Flippin' Ain't Easy. We have a live stream every Monday and Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern. And we go for a couple hours. We have a great community that I feel like we've built over there, and a lot of reselling questions that we answer. talking about best practices. And I put videos out throughout the week. And then also Bearded Picker, Josh Galt, and Primo Chemo, and myself. We're all, we do a podcast that we put out every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, where we talk about best practices and running your business. Because I think a lot of times people look at this as just reselling, but it's, for many, it's a business. And I think that channel does a really great job on highlighting pitfalls and things that we handle in our business.
That channel?
It's the Profit Playbook Podcast. Did I not say that?
No.
Oh, well, it's the Profit Playbook Podcast. So so check it out, and also check out Flippin' Ain't Easy. Glad to have you.
Perfect. Sonny, what is going on new with you?
I have my vintage booth on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. And then my vintage Disney and Looney Tunes ornaments that I mentioned earlier that I got a really sweet deal on. So sweet that I got diabetes from it. That'll be on the 24th.
Perfect. I will have, I was so tired and worn out today. I actually didn't record my videos like I normally do today. So I have one in backup, which is a research video on wicker. So it will be a research video on wicker tomorrow. And then I'll do my what sold and my high dollar what sold on Friday and Sunday. Again, I will be at Renninger's at Mount Dora at the antique fair. I know Sam and Adam from Jolie Flips will also be there. I believe Jocelyn Crazy Lamp Lady is also going to be there. Marsha Red Cardinal Treasures is coming. I think Treasure Diva Thrift. So hit me up on Instagram or on Facebook Messenger. I try to check them as often as I can. Again, if I don't answer, message me again. Don't feel bad about it. And we can try and meet up and figure something out while you're there, at least meet in person and talk for a little bit. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I might do a jewelry show tomorrow, and then I might do another salt and pepper on Thursday. So the jewelry tomorrow will most likely be on Whatnot, and then I might do the second salt and pepper shaker show over on Knickknacks. But whatever I do, I am going to try and put it out on social media. That's a really hard thing, especially when you have an audience. It just takes a couple extra minutes, but it's a matter of remembering to actually do it. For me anyways, I'm like, oh crap, I didn't tell them I'm doing this show. I'm trying to do almost every day. I did not do one today because my poor employee yesterday, I sold over 150 pieces of jewelry on Whatnot over the weekend. Plus we had 35 on eBay. We had Poshmark at Mercari. So she actually had to stay 2 hours late. She was packing for 10 hours yesterday. And then I'm like, she's going to kill me. And she comes in this morning to 165 salt and pepper shakers that I sold yesterday on Whatnot. So she was also packing today, and she also had to stay 2 hours late today. So I was like, oh, and she's like, no, do a show. And I'm like, no, I want to give you a break at least for a day. So I did do a show today, but I will probably do jewelry tomorrow, and then salt and peppers on Thursday. And Sam Jolie Flips has asked me, we are considering doing a co-hosting jewelry sale from our Airbnb in Mount Dora. Both of us might bring some jewelry and do it from the Airbnb. So watch for that. That will be on Knickknacks if we do it again. I'll try and at least give you guys a few hours of heads up when we will do it. And I appreciate Johnny and John and Jenna coming on, Sonny coming back. And I definitely love seeing all the pictures and the videos of Mateo out. That is a great thing. And all of you in the chat, we can't do this without you. Oh, next week, I had it pulled up, is Liz from Freeway Flippers and my good friend Leroy Blood, Sweat, and Cell. He hasn't been on in a little while, so we will have them on tomorrow. No, we're not doing nightly podcasts. We will have them on next Tuesday, and we appreciate all you guys in the audience, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Thank you for having me.